Today's video, we're going to be changing the transmission fluid on this is a 2021 two-door JL Wrangler. First step is we're going to remove this cross member. I've loosened the bolts up. That way you can drop the pan out easily. On the 6 cylinders, the exhaust cross is over here, which I guess you have to loosen the exhaust. These ones, they just have a skid plate underneath. There's a nut that goes here, a bolt here, a bolt here, and a bolt on this side of the frame rail too. Then you're going to loosen up all your pan bolts, which are here. Before you start, on this side, I've got an Allen wrench stuck in the side here. This is your fill plug. Kind of hard to see, but it's right alongside the gas tank, and I had to take a grinder and cut about probably half an inch off a Allen wrench, which you can see my Allen wrench has been shortened quite a bit. So first step is make sure you loosen up the fill plug, make sure it's going to move, which mine I already pre-loosened, and then we'll drop the cross member. We'll be back after the cross member is dropped. Okay, so now I've got the cross member out of the way. Next step is to pull all these bolts on the outside of the pan. I like to leave the 2 on the front here. Leave those somewhat snug, then release the back of the pan slowly and have it so that it drops into a catch containment. So I'm going to do that step right now. Okay, we're getting ready to remove there's 3 bolts remaining. And this is going to let the oil seep into our catch can. Once you get most of the oil out, just hold the pan with one hand and pull the last 2 bolts out. Try not throwing them in the bucket of oil. Then you can lower the whole thing down, hopefully, and the filter will come out with it. Then you're just going to pull these 2 nuts off and change the filter out. Okay, you can stop.
United.
Okay, the next step is we're going to put the 2 nuts on to hold the filter to the pan. As you can see, we've cleaned the pan out. We used a little brake cleaner on it. And we cleaned off the 2 magnets here. They didn't look too bad. We also put a little oil on the O-ring here, so it'll slide in. As far as tightening the nuts, I just kind of snug them down. They tell you to tighten them to a certain tightness, then back them off a little bit. I just kind of snug them so they're touching basically. And that's so this can move when you slide the pan up into place. This has to line up with the hole in your valve body. So our next step is to put the pan onto the valve body. And you should hear a pop when it engages. My bolts are a little too tight. And then it's just put the bolts in. Okay, you can turn it off. We're going to tighten the pan bolts. Kind of do it crisscross so that you won't have any leaks. Just make sure you hit all the bolts and that you get them all tight. There is a torque spec on it. I'm not going to use that because it's not really that high, and I don't have a torque wrench down here. So. Once you've done crisscross, I'd like to go around at least once, make sure that I have hit every single bolt. Because you will see that you miss a few here and there. Once the pan is tight, next thing is to add fluid. And I'm actually using the correct 8 and 9 speed fluid from Mopar. And I just have a cheap Harbor Freight transfer pump. So I broke free the plug on the side. And it's kind of a pain with the gas tank here, but kind of is what it is. Pull your plug out, make sure there's no debris on it. Because like this is another thing that they tell you, so many foot-pounds of torque to install, but I don't have anything to fit up in there because there's not even room to get 2 fingers in there. So with your transfer pump, there's an in and an out. Make sure the in stays in the bottle. The out kind of goes up into the transmission. Just kind of got to push it around the corner here. Once you get it in, I'll probably pump, I don't know, somewhere around 4, maybe 5 quarts of fluid in until the fluid really starts coming out. Then you go up and start the car. Until it gets up to, I believe it's 88 to 122 degrees. Then you'll pull the plug again. And with the car running, fill it till the fluid comes out. Shut it off. For the last part of this, you've got to get the transmission temperature up to around 88 to 120 degrees. And right now I'm currently setting at 71 on the transmission. But you should go from park to reverse, hold it in each gear for 5 seconds, and just go back and forth 3 or 4 times. Basically it purges the air and stuff out of the fluid, and it helps build a little bit of temperature. And I put it into the manual mode and even pop it into second gear, which will pop up on your display, and hold that gear for 5 seconds also. Go back to low gear and continue moving back and forth through the gears. Like I say, about 4 cycles, then we'll go underneath and see if we have to add more fluid. As you can see, we're up to temperature now. Now I'm going to go underneath and fill it up the rest of the way. Okay, so I'm reaching up in here and I'm going to pull the plug back out again. It's sitting here idling in park. We're up to our temperature that we're supposed to be at, and we're going to just add more fluid till we're at the right level. You'll see fluid actually come out the same hole. When it starts coming out that hole, you're at the right amount. The 4 doors are much easier to get access to this hole. You also want to make sure that the Jeep is level while you're doing this. And it'll have a pretty steady stream once it's full. Kind of like right there. Then it's just put your cross member back in after tightening the bolt up or your plug up, and you're done.